Welcome to Greentree Approvals and Alerts. Imagine a system that could check, as the user saved a purchase order, whether or not based on your rules that purchase order needed to be approved. It could be checking what's on the purchase order or how much the purchase order is for. Then the system could show you live on your desktop your outstanding approvals. And from the desktop you could approve, reject, or even show the record as to how it was allocated. Also, imagine if the system was able to inform you about your approval by email or SMS. Imagine a system that could check as the user enters a sales order and changes the price, whether or not our minimum margin has been reached, and if not, put the sales order on hold. As you can see here again, it's popped up on my desktop and the sales order is on margin hold. Greentree's Approvals and Alerts can check any bit of data as a user saves a record, and you can define your own rules as to what does and doesn't need to be approved. The traffic light icon shown on every Greentree record shows me the approval status of the record I have loaded on the screen. So as I load a customer here, we can see the traffic lights are green, simply meaning this record's been approved. If it's yellow, the record's pending approval, and if red, rejected. As I click on that icon, I can now see how that record was actually approved. In this case, it had a multi-stage sequential approval. In this case, Cameron approved it on the 27th, Steve also on the 27th, and April was the manager who approved it on the 28th. So in Greentree you can set your approvals up to be multi-level, sequential or non-sequential, or single level. If your approvals are multi-level, you can set up approve in advance options, whether or not someone can approve as previous levels, and whether they can override rejections. Greentree's Approvals and Alerts can be used for more than just approvals. It can also be set up to alert a user while they're transacting in the system. For example, here we can see a user entering a brand new quote. As they select the customer, an instant alert message appears, showing them that the customer has a balance over 60 days old. So within Greentree, you can configure your own alert messages to pop up as a user entering data. The user at this point cannot continue entering their quote until they acknowledge the instant alert message. Greentree's Approvals and Alerts can also be used to stop a user making an unwanted change to the database. Again, you can configure your own rules to decide what they can and can't change. Here's an example where a user is going into a supplier record and changing the bank account details. Upon saving the record, you can see it says you cannot save your change as the bank account details can only be changed by a certain user. So Greentree again allows you to configure your own rules and decide what a user can and can't do. With most systems in the marketplace today, to find out where things are at, you're forced to do your own inquiry or run your own report and then be reactive to that. With Greentree's Alerts, the system can be proactive as it includes the ability to create live collections and show them to you on your desktop. For example, a live list of inventory items low in stock. And as the system checks the low inventory, it populates it live on my desktop. I could ask the system to show me customer invoices that are over 60 days old, or possibly some prospects we haven't contacted in the last 90 days. But not only can we have scheduled lists come up on the screen, we can have live lists on our screen. In this example, I'm showing active shipments. As the user creates or changes an active shipment, it's going to update on my desktop straight away. So here the user is changing the status from awaiting departure to shipped, updating the expected arrival date of the particular shipment, and then after having saved that record, we can already see that it has changed live on my desktop. Thank you for listening to the Greentree Approvals and Alerts demonstration. Hopefully you can see how Greentree's Approvals and Alerts can make your organisation very, very proactive.